Welcome back, game developers. In this tutorial, I'm going to show you how to add simple save and load game features to your project. Every game is different, but at some point your player is going to want to save their progress. Because games vary in how they implement saving, I'm going to show you how the save and load functions work in Construct 3. And then on our title screens, we'll add some code to load the saved game. After this tutorial, you should be able to adapt this method to suit the needs of your own project. So let's get started. All right, so what's our plan for today? Well, we're going to code a keyboard shortcut to save the game. So basically when S is pressed, we'll save the game, and then we'll create some text that lets the user know that the game is being saved. And then on our title screen for our play button, we'll change up the code so that way when you click the play button, it'll load the game. And if there is no saved game to load, then the load will fail, and then we'll just send the player on to a new game. All right, so I got my project loaded up here. Go ahead and load up your own project and let's get started. So the first thing we need to do is we need to make an event sheet called save game. So add an event sheet, we'll call it save game, and we'll do add event keyboard, and when key is pressed, the S key. Okay, what do we want to have happen? We want to save the game. So add action, system, and then save. You can change the name of your save slot, but I leave mine default. It just makes things a lot easier. So go ahead and hit done without changing it. All right, now we want to let the user know that the game is actually saving. So we need a text object for that. So I have a layout called Object Database. If you don't have one like this, you should make one. It's a place where you can just kind of like keep all of your objects. It's a nice way to stay organized. So I'm going to create a text object by double clicking. Okay, text object. And I'm going to call it save status. And I'm going to change its properties. The text is just going to say saving game. And because the bottom of my screen in my game is black, I'm going to change its color to white so that way it's easier to be seen. But make sure to change it to a color that works for you. And I'm going to make it a lot bigger. Okay, and then finally, because I want it to display in the bottom right-hand corner of the screen, I'm going to change the origin and orientation to be bottom right and the horizontal alignment to be right. So origin, bottom right, and that puts its origin point in the bottom right corner. And then horizontal alignment, I'm going to change that to be the right. Okay, so now when I spawn this, it'll line up nicely with the corner down there. Okay, we have our text object. Let's go back to our event sheet. Okay, so add action. We are going to create that object. So system, create object. Okay, our save status text. Okay, now you want this to be displayed on your HUD layer. For me, my HUD layer is layer 9. Yours might be layer 2 or layer 1 or 3 or whatever. So make sure to use whichever layer is your heads up display layer. Okay, that's the one that has its parallax set to 0, 0. All right, so I want this to be on the far right of the screen. So that's going to be viewport right, parentheses, and then my HUD layer number. So that's 9 for me, might be a different number for you. Bottom of the screen would be viewport bottom, parentheses, which layer you're referring to, the HUD layer. So for me, again, that's 9, but yours might be different. Okay, so now it's going to spawn our save status text on our HUD layer on the far right at the bottom of the screen. Okay, now we don't want that to stay there forever, so we're going to add a wait command and then we'll destroy it. So add action, system, wait. Let's wait 2 seconds. And then add action, your text object, destroy. Okay, finally we are going to reorganize this. We're going to have the save game action happen right after we create the text object. All right, now we need to make sure that this code can be accessed by the game. So where do you want to be able to save, right? So for me, in my game, I want the player to be able to save whenever they're walking around the main town, not when they're in a building or in a battle. So I have an event sheet called main town logic, and this kind of controls everything that just happens when you're walking around town. So I'm going to include my event sheet here. So right click, include event sheet, okay, the save game. And then this way, whenever they're walking around town, they'll be able to save the game. All right, so now that you've completed that step, go to a level and preview this. All right, we're in preview mode. And if I pressed the S key, am I gonna get the save notification? Boom, look at that, saving game, nice. All right, it works. All right, so now let's write some code for our title screen so that when you click the play button, the game will either load if there is a save, or it'll just start a new game if there isn't a save. So I need to add the mouse object real quick to my project. So I'm going to double click and I'm going to add mouse. All right, now that I have mouse, I can code it. So I'm going to go to my title screen event sheet. All right, I already have some events on mine. You can just ignore those. All right, so we're going to add an event and the mouse on object clicked. Okay, our play button. Okay, now we want to load the game, right? So add action, system, load. Okay, and now if you had changed the name of your save game, you're gonna need to use that updated name here. Otherwise, you can hit done. All right, so when you hit the play button, it's gonna try and load the game. But what if it's a brand new game, you haven't played it yet, right? There's no save, okay? So if the load fails, we'll just go to our first layout. So add event, system, okay, and then on load failed. Okay, so when there is no save to load, we're just gonna go straight to the beginning of our game. So we'll do system, go to layout, and then whatever the beginning of your game is. The beginning of my game happens in the Supershare. All right, that's all there is to it. Let's go ahead and go to the title screen and give it a try. All right, when I hit the play button, it takes us right to where we had saved our game. Awesome, it works. All right, so in today's tutorial, I showed you how to make a simple save and load feature for your game by creating an event sheet called save game, and then adding a few events onto your title screen. Smash that thumbs up button if you learned something new today, and I'll see you in the next tutorial. Thanks for watching and have a great day.